Camera number 413 is the Plusflex 35. Not a huge amount of information on the internet, although it does seem that this is the third iteration of the 35mm format camera produced by a company in Japan, who I won't pronounce because my Japanese is not very good. It's apparently an import to a British manufacturer, Paul Plus, and maybe that's the reason why it's called a Plusflex. He wanted to perhaps make his mark on that camera. Intriguing little camera, which will highlight some of the reasons why I say that when we go through the features of the camera. So 35mm does take the Exacta mount, so any Exacta mount lens I think will fit. Interesting, this lens, Auto Plus Caron f2.8 45mm. So I'm looking forward to using that. It's in, I must say, the lens is in very good condition. We take the lens off by pushing the little lens release, and just looking through the lens, it does seem very clean. No signs of fungus in it, I don't think, although there is a little mark I've just noticed there. So whether that's on the outside, I'll check that. But I'm going to be looking forward to using it, in that I finally have a reason. I have some extension tubes for an Exacta mount, so I'm looking forward to perhaps putting those on. I'll put those on a bit later. So there's the lens release. So here's the shutter, effectively, the actual lens, sorry, not the lens, the mirror of the camera acts as the shutter. So we'll see the mechanism as we go around the back better. But let's stay with the front. We have two ports for different flash, and very nicely they've marked them. M125 for that one, and X60 for that one. And indeed there are only two shutter speeds, probably due to the limitation of using the mirror as the shutter. And the shutter speeds are altered round the little button here on the front, the P, if it is a P. So I've got it on B at the moment. So if I turn it, if I can, sorry, there we go. So there's 1/60th, and then 1/25th. Try and zoom in there if I can. And that's it really on the front as it goes. Around the back, not a huge amount to see on the back. A film rewind button which disengages the film advance, and then we can wind our film back in. To open the film chamber, we just lift the film rewind, and then we can see the camera. Now I do like, it's got this kind of crinkled effect, so while it is perhaps maybe it was a cheap camera, it's, you know, quite quality there, or it feels like quality in the chamber there. Wasn't necessary to do that, but it's nice to have that. And as I say, it's a very clean camera, so I'm very pleased that that's the case, because I can go out and use it. On the top plate here, we have our shutter button. Now, interestingly, when I first got the camera, this is what was happening. And so I thought, oh, what's going on here? And it seems that this is a collar that winds up to stop accidental activation of the film. So just a note there, if you do find one of these and it does that, it just engages the aperture. It doesn't actually fire, that's the reason why. So you just need to rewind it down, and then there we go. So that's an interesting little mechanism there, that the aperture gets shut down, because it is an open aperture, if you like, that does return. So when you're looking through the viewfinder, you'll see a nice bright image, and it's only when you actually take the image itself, it closes down to your chosen aperture and then takes the image. So I suppose in a way you could use that as a preview button and then take the image. So there's a nice little feature there that's always appreciated. And then we have our film counter, which counts up, I believe, and we have to just turn it with our finger. It does only go one way actually, I think. There we go. Put it to 0. And then, oops, winds on to number 1. There we go. So just to see the mirror in operation, I actually put the camera up to the light, and yeah, sure enough, you can't see any light whatsoever. So it's a very nice, tight light mechanism there. And then when we take the image, that's at 1/125th of a second. Let's just put it on bulb so we can actually see it fully then. And there we go, there's the mirror up with the slit, if you like, for the light to come through, and then it closes down. So presumably if there isn't a weakness, it's possibly where the mirror sits on the, although it is quite a nice bumper there. So again, as I say, I held it up to the light, I can't see any light whatsoever leaking in, so I'm reasonably confident that I should get some good images, hopefully. And talking of images, I'm looking to perhaps do some close-ups if I can, to employ this extension tube. There's a little red dot which we line up to the red dot. There we go. And then we can put hopefully this lens in the same fashion. Find the red dot. There's the red dot there. With the red dot. There we go. So hopefully, a little cumbersome, but I'm intrigued to see if that. I will take some images on just the lens itself. Now on the lens, I did notice that the focus ring did slip a little bit, so I'm going to be careful of that. Otherwise, I'll get blurred out of focus images. So something for me to bear in mind there. So there we go, there's the camera. Just one other little feature, there is a hole in the side here. From what I've read, it seems to be that there was a flash accessory that kind of plugged into the side of that. And then presumably a cable went round, and depending on what flash you've got. So this is number 413, the Plusflex 35.